If you want to be a writer, you must write. Who said that? If you want to be a writer, you must write. I think it was. No, it wasn't Stephen King. Who said that? No, it was like a stoic guy. If you wish to be a writer, you must write. Epictetus. Yes. The idea that. Here, let me go to my podcast research agent. Just created this bad boy. Basically, I'm removing all things that can possibly take away from my growth as a podcaster or a person that likes to pretty much hear themselves speak. I took away the titles and thinking about the thumbnails and the different search engine optimization and the different shorts you can extract, and basically being your own social media manager is an exhausting thing. And the people that do that, like your favorite channels or your favorite podcasts, there are people doing some hard work. And for a person who works a full-time job, has a kid on the way, who has to, maintain a house and do all the adult shit of life, the last thing I want to do after recording this as my hobby is to spend hours editing and recording. And while the hustle and grind culture would say that, well, if you work hard enough, if you really want it, then you'll do it. Well, maybe I don't want it that bad. Maybe this is just supposed to be fun for me, and that's all right. So I'm simplifying my workflow. I'm just going to do the bare basics, and I'm just going to record. I'm just going to record, hear myself talk, put a simple title of what it is in the video, and keep it moving. And that made me think of the Stoic fella, Epictetus, who says, if you wish to be a writer, write. So I'm just going to do the activity that I want to get better at, not worry about the rest. And if people like what I have to offer, cool. If not, I'm still going to be doing what I enjoy in my free time without worrying or spending energy in things that I don't. There's a freedom to that. It feels damn good to release the shit that was not giving me any sense of fulfillment, and especially with a thing that's what it's supposed to do. Like, I've been writing and trying to do this recording stuff because, well, recording recently, it started as writing, but as a person who has had some very difficult times, especially self-inflicted, and not knowing it was self-inflicted because I've just been this way my whole life, but being reflective, self-reflective, and going inward and writing has been my own measure of sanity, cleaning out the cobwebs of my own insanity. And it's becoming addicting. It's become addicting for the last 5 years of just writing things most mornings to kind of clear out the subconscious, to release the mental suffering that the patterns of a human mind often inflict upon itself. And so when I would try to make it or try to make videos that were successful, because I was like, oh, this is going to be something. I know this is going to be great. I found my calling, and now I just have to get other people to see that. When you have that mindset, you're now fixated on a future idea or where you want to be rather than where you are. And now you're getting lost and forgetting why you came to this in the beginning. So for me, just removing all of that shit that caused all that suffering gets me back to basics and back to why I want to do this. And it feels good. It's very liberating, and it just makes me, I don't care as much anymore. I don't care the outcome anymore. I just want to do this because, like I said, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel whole, makes me feel complete. It's my little hobby. Just hearing myself chat, Maybe a little nutty, but hey, works for me. And, excuse me, so with this simplistic approach, That means I have more time to record, more time to practice speaking. And so, back again, if you wish to be a writer, write. If you wish to be a speaker or a podcaster, speak, podcast it. And then it made me think, and I wanted to look this up. Got to ask Gemini here. I created I'm not sharing my screen. This is like a Zoom work call where people think they're sharing their screen. They're totally not. Here we go. I got my timer up. I got 16 minutes basically before my morning meeting. So keeping that up. I created this podcast research assistant in AI. Basically, if you don't know, you can create AI agents, or like Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude. They all have the capability when you click a custom project or gem or agent, where those are all synonymous terms for it, where you can have it do a certain thing. So, for example, I told this one I want it to, give me helpful information and format it in a certain way when I'm doing a podcast. So it like sets the context. It's like kind of telling a person what their job title is or what their role is and how they can help the company or help you in this case with the AI. So for this, I was wanting to ask, when I thought about just recording, I always think of Lil Wayne. I remember an interview he did or something where he was talking about, all I do is get in the studio and I record. That's all I like to do is I just go and I record. And so that's it. Just like I'm in the booth right now, So here, I wanted to ask. Oh, I had to give it allowance. Lil Wayne, obviously he's a famous rapper, and I'm pretty sure back in the day he had an interview or something where he said that all he likes to do is pretty much record, and that he gets in the booth wherever he's going, in a tour bus back in the day where he's traveling the country doing his shows at late at night. He'd be by himself just recording in his little studio in on the bus. And so I'm just kind of curious if you can give me some more information about how he would record on his tour bus and what that was like. Now I'm hoping it doesn't scream back to me and just give me the text. Perfect. Okay, it didn't. Yeah, Lil Wayne's rolling studio during his 2000s peak, mid 2000s. Dude, Wayne was on a tear, boy. The late 2000s. I'm thinking like 2007, 2008. I think 2008 is when the Carter 3 came out, and he was on top of his game. Back then you had to have an iPod, FrostWire, LimeWire, all his songs. What year was it? Yeah, 2008. And all those free mixtapes he would drop. And probably because he was in this studio. Lil Wayne famously turned his tour bus into a high-end mobile recording booth to fuel his obsession with never stopping. He essentially lived in a cycle of performing a show, walking straight onto the bus, and recording until the sun came up while traveling to the next city. Wow. Wayne used a professional-grade mobile rig that centered around a Sony C800G microphone, a $10,000 industry standard known for its heat sink cooling system, which was often set up in the back lounge of the bus amidst a cloud of smoke and snacks. We say the no paper rule. He famously stopped writing lyrics. Yes, I remember that, on paper around 2003. On the bus, you'd pace back and forth, listen to a beat for hours, and then step to the mic to record punch-ins, phrase by phrase, building entire songs from memory. That is insane. What's most insane about that is, he's smoking, like that's one of the things that he does. He smokes weed all the time. Smokes weed, drinks scissor, and then to be able to sit there while you're in a semi-conscious, euphorically high, stoned state, and not only be creative, but to then remember that creativity. Because like I'll get high and I have glimpses of, or I'll have something that's like, ooh, that's a good idea. But then I look over to my right and then I'm like, what was I even thinking about? So to be not only to remember the single thought, but to remember the train of lyrics that you're building out in your head in a stoned state, and then retain them and then spit them back, and they're fire that the entire world loves, or a lot of people do at least. This mobile lifestyle is what was able to release hundreds of songs a year. Yep. His engineers estimate that during the Carter 2 and 3 eras, he was recording 3 to 5 songs every single night while the bus was in motion. Because the bus was his primary workspace, is notoriously exclusive. Even a young pre-fame Drake was reportedly not allowed on the bus because the environment was strictly for Wayne's inner circle and constant recording sessions. Wow. And that's just it. And that's I'm curious if Wayne, here, I'm going to ask this. Curious, is there any information on Wayne saying or reflecting that this time really honed in his skills of this kind of mobile studio and recording 3 to 5 songs a night? Does he attribute that to his growth as an artist and as a rapper? I imagine so, but I'm just kind of curious if there's anything out there. Wayne doesn't just credit the tour bus era for his growth. He views that period of extreme isolation and repetition as the training camp that transformed him from a rapper into a legend. Wow. He often speaks about the time as a state of professional mania, where the bus was the only place he felt like he could truly master his craft. Quantity over quality. Wayne has reflected that recording 3 to 5 songs a night, sometimes up to 50 in a single marathon session, was about outworking the doubt. Interesting. He believed that by sheer volume, he would eventually stumble onto sounds and flows that no one else was exploring. That actually makes sense. And it brings about something that I can think about, or that reminded me of the YouTuber Ali Abdaal. He's a big YouTuber on like productivity and shit. Yeah, he's a former doctor, turned YouTuber, super smart dude. Yeah, went to Cambridge University. Brilliant dude. Dang, he's younger than me. That's not a hurt to the ego. Anyway, yeah, this dude, YouTuber, and I was watching one of his videos on being a YouTuber and how to be successful. Because he has like a program now of, if you too want to be a successful guy, then, yeah, do this. Anyway, he was saying how there was an analogy that if you, in 1 month's time, were to create a pot, one pot, like a pot, not Lil Wayne's pot, but like a flower pot. If you were making those, and you only made one, and you made that pot the best you could, so that at the end of the month, you hopefully have a pot that you're proud to craft. Now, you take another person. They make a pot every day. They make a new pot Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and at the end of the month, they've made 30 pots. The idea is that second person is going to have a much better skill set on making pots because they've done the repetitions. And so the idea is that the more you just rep something out, the more you can. And that's one of Wayne's lyrics. He says, repetition is the father of learning. I forget what song that is, but I swear Wayne said something like that. Repetition is the father of learning. Yeah, right there. Shoot me down. Please don't shoot me down. Yeah. So I guess he was, that might have came out of him, that lyric, because of those times in the tour bus and his little mini studio of just rapping and doing something repetitively. And the idea too is something I'm thinking of is the more things you just try, you try this song, you try this beat, and you're just trying different beats every night. A lot of them are are not going to be good, right? Just like the pots. If you make 30 pots, 20 might not be good. but 10 might. And now you have 10 good pots compared to Homeboy's one good pot. And so another reason for me, I'm kind of just validating myself right now. I'm kind of confirming my decision to step away from working on all the extracurriculars of YouTube, of the thumbnails and the descriptions and all that. But if you want to be good at something, if you wish to be a writer, write. And so the more I just hear myself talk, the more I speak on different things. Talking about is something like Lil Wayne's tour bus in the mid-2000s. As trivial as a topic as that is, doing that will propel me into to elevate my skill set over time. And then right after this, I can make another video because I'll just simply upload this one, give a 5-second of thought, a title, publish it. And so it's not about this video. It's not about the quality of it at all. It's about doing the reps and that building my pots, just like Wayne did. So let's go back to that. I'm deciding not to share my screen the whole time because I realize that if I do, then y'all can just, obviously if you're watching the video, you're just reading it. And then if I'm just hearing myself talk, you've already got familiar with the thing and then you're bored with it by the time I actually read it. So where was I? Here we are. Yeah, it was okay. It was about outworking the doubt. He believed that by sheer volume, he would eventually stumble onto sounds and flows that no one else was exploring. Right. It's like being in the woods, and the more it's like each song was a different tree in the woods. And if you're constantly going to different trees, you stumble upon different things, as it says. By just doing the volume, you naturally will find you explore deeper depths of creativity, of your forest creativity, going to different trees, going to different things you see, and seeing what comes out. Some things will be good, some things won't. The memory curse. Interestingly, Wayne attributes his legendary status to a lack of memory. He has stated that because he records so much and never writes anything down, he forgets his old flows immediately. This forces him to constantly invent new ones every night on the bus so he doesn't repeat himself, effectively leveling up his creativity through forced amnesia. That is a big thing that I just thought of as far as sports. In sports, especially, maybe not especially, but the thing that comes to mind is basketball. Sorry, hold on. I got to log into work here. I got 4 minutes. Okay, sorry about that. Got to get my work laptop ready to go. Amnesia. With great basketball players, they always talk about, or just any athlete, to have a short memory. You have to forget immediately, because if you miss 10 shots in a row, or if you miss every shot in a game, the next game, you got to be ready to shoot. And you can't be thinking about what happened in the previous game, because if you do, that'll mess up your confidence. You'll get in your own head, and you can get into a large slump and not be living up to your potential because you're worried about what happened in the past. And I think that's kind of true for me with these YouTube videos, is that because I was putting so much time into the post-production process of after something's recorded, looking at it, worrying about it, trying to edit it, I'm thinking about it, how could this be better? And then editing things so that it's like, is this what I should say? Getting analysis paralysis. And then that mindset of perfectionism from the editing carries over into the next video. And so when I'm writing or preparing that next video, I'm still in that state of analysis paralysis. And then it kind of just slugs the whole process down and just makes it much more stressful and more about the results rather than the process. Another thing, discipline as a gift and a curse. In recent reflections, he describes his inability to stop working as a curse given by God, but acknowledges that the tour bus studio was where he learned to harness that energy. He views the bus not as a convenience, but as a mandatory tool for the consistency he believes is the only difference between being popular and being great. You know, I gotta say, sometimes, maybe in pop culture, maybe not everyone, but I think there's definitely a stigma with rappers specifically, and of course, a lot of different type of creators or entertainers. And I've actually been guilty of this, honestly, of basically just kind of bad mouthing them. And you know, you think that he's just like for Wayne, for instance, you think maybe he's a partier. I mean, he is or was. I don't know if he still is. I don't know the guy, but you know, for doing drugs and just women and you know things that may not be considered the best role model for kids, right? But to be good at anything with this rapping stuff, to be good at anything, you have to be consistent and you have to be diligent. And it's clear here from just looking at what this man is talking about from his tour bus days of having the amnesia, thinking about like, I got to get this shit out of my head of what I did last night. It's a new day. I'm not even thinking about it. I don't write nothing down. I'm not worried about what I did. It's a new day. Let's see what creativity we got. Exploring and stumbling upon these new flows, doing 3 to 5 songs a night, harnessing that obsession into his craft and attributing that obsession to being why he's so great. And because it's just the volume, just getting the reps in. And I think there's, you know, profound wisdom from a guy like that. Even though on the surface people may chop him up just to being a rapper because he's got tattoos or maybe he, I don't know, whatever you want to think about him. And I hope that doesn't come across as like I'm the one being judgy, because I think it's safe to say that most people would just think Wayne is just, he's just a rapper, he's a party guy. But clearly there's much more to this man, and it's just so cool to see coming from him. I think Wayne's cool. I love that dude. I respect the hell out of him. And yeah, I'm going to channel my inner Wheezy with recording and keep practicing. Have amnesia. Don't worry about what's to come or what I just did. We just stay in flow. We just keep recording, and then the next day I record again, and I don't worry about what I did yesterday. Yeah. Anyway, it's 9:30. I am done. I'll see y'all next. This was fun. I'll see myself next time. Peace.